I'm very happy that this book was in the 90s. I'm so happy right now. Hey guys, welcome to Banned Book Week, day 4! So today we're going to be talking about Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was written in 1999 by Stephen Jablonsky. I should have Googled how to say his name because I don't want to say it wrong because this man. So odds are you've heard of this book, or at least you've heard of this movie. If you are in my age range or younger, odds are you've at least heard of the movie. Especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, you've heard of this movie because it stars Emma Watson. So, yeah. So, between 2003 and even up until 2019, this book has been banned for teen sexuality, date rape, masturbation, drug use and alcohol, homosexuality, and bestiality. Now, I did my research before I read the book, and I had seen the movie years ago when it first came out, and I hadn't seen it since for personal reasons. But I got to that last part, bestiality, and I was like, what? And then I read through the book, and I'm still like, what? I'm very confused as to why it would be marked as bestiality being a reason why it would be banned, because there is literally nothing in that book that I would constitute bestiality. I'm so confused. I have no idea. The rest of it, okay, yes, I understand why some people would cite those. I'm not saying I agree with the ban, but I understand why they cite the other things, the teen sexuality, the date rape, drug use, all that. I get that. The bestiality, I'm very confused on. I don't know what version of the book or book they were reading. Yeah. As I read through the book, there are certain things that, and as I'm going through this banned book week, I find myself surprised on these people that feel the need to ban literature. I find myself curious as, I don't know if curious is the right word, surprised, and I just question why they choose to focus on some things and not other things. Now going forth, I'm not saying I condone or disagree with certain things in the book, but if they have such a problem with one aspect of a book, why wouldn't they have a problem with this aspect? I'm just confused. Because as you go through a banned book week, or reasons books are banned, and you see all these things people nitpick at, homosexuality, that obviously stems from a Christian background or a religious background. People who have a problem with gay people and want to ban a book based on the fact that it has homosexual characters in it, which I don't understand. So this book is cited for one of the reasons they wanted it banned, for homosexuality. There's also, in the book, there's also an abortion. But on none of the lists is that cited. Which, I mean, that's whatever. I know that's a hot topic when I'm filming. That's a hot topic right now in Texas because that ridiculous law that passed, that was asinine what happened in Texas. But I'm very confused as to where people get offended and don't get offended. But that is another factor to take into account, like when you're writing or reading or recommending teen fiction. Because there was also like an abortion in the book, and it was handled very casually. Like, actually, I honestly liked how the author handled it. It was very well done. Um, Another thing, this bothered me way more. it A huge plot line of the book is childhood molestation, which is one of the reasons why I had only seen the movie once, because when I saw it, I was going through some stuff. It was a huge trigger for me. I ended the movie basically in the fetal position and bawling and had to like recover from it. So, yeah, it like cites teen sexuality and date rape and all that. But not once is it cited for having not only childhood like molestation, but also like, I don't know if this is counted as incest, but like childhood molestation by a family member. So, yeah, I don't know. That really bugged me that like nowhere in this list of reasons why it should be banned was that a factor. Which I feel like that's should be way higher on your list of priorities than homosexuality and bestiality that wasn't even in the book. And also there was suicide, like, talked about in the book, like right away in the book. Like, I mean, we open talking about suicide, and that wasn't listed either, which I was really surprised about. Because usually when you're talking about a book on a banned book list and there's suicide talked about, bam, it gets hit immediately. So, yeah. But let's move on to talk about the actual book, not just why it was banned. So, Perks of Being a Wallflower, it follows Charlie, who lives in, I want to say it's Pennsylvania. And he is just entering into his freshman year of high school in the grand old year of 1991. And so it just kind of follows his first year of high school. And I love how it is told, because I even went to a bookstore and found the book, but I listened to it on audio. But it is completely told through his letters to this anonymous person who he refers to as his friend. That he's just trying to, like, express all his feelings and what's going on with him, because he doesn't even completely understand, you know, like, who he is as a person, why he has the feelings he does, the thoughts that he does, and, like, just, you know, everything going on in his life. And the whole story is just completely told through these letters to this anonymous friend of his. And it's really beautifully formatted and nicely told. Charlie's very quiet and introverted. I mean, that kind of plays into the being a wallflower. Like, he just kind of is in the background, but he's very observant. He sees everything, because he just kind of gets overlooked a lot of the time. Shortly into his freshman year, he meets Patrick and Samantha. And these two just kind of, throughout the year, change his life in little and big ways. The way that, you know, those friends in high school, they always do. if you've been through high school or you're going through high school, you'll find that, like, those kind of friends, like, you may not see it in the moment, but they do. They change your life in these really small, but then just really huge ways. And this story really captures that. Like, I love it. So throughout the last year, I have been learning a ton about neurodivergent people and then people on the autism spectrum. And I didn't notice it, obviously, the first time watching the movie, like 10 years ago. But as soon as I started reading this book, like, I just immediately, my first thought was like, I'm pretty sure Charlie is either neurodivergent, is on the autism spectrum, or has Asperger's. And, like, I tried to Google after I read the book, like, did the author write Charlie as being neurodivergent? I couldn't really find anything. But the way he writes Charlie feels very, very much like he is. And honestly, I loved that so much. And then I literally just finished the movie. Like, after each of these books that I've been reading, I've been watching the movie adaptation. And Logan Lerman, my God, did such a wonderful job. And I feel like he really portrays that, kind of those characteristics as well. And so I think even adapting it to screen, I feel like that's kind of what the author was going for too, because the author wrote and directed the movie as well. And yeah, I really love that, because in a world full of neurodivergence, I feel like they need more representation. And yeah, I really love that. And I don't know, that's the feeling I got from this book about Charlie. And yeah, it was nice. It was good to read. I loved it. And yeah, I will say this book is beautiful and heartbreaking and wonderful. And honestly, I wish I had discovered it as a teen. Maybe it would have saved me a few years of pain and trouble. It handles topics that aren't easy or pretty, but that pretty much every teen, like, goes through. And yeah, I feel like more teens need this book in their life. Like, yeah. So yes, while I would not recommend this book for younger kids, maybe not even middle school, I definitely would recommend this book for high schoolers. It's beautiful, and I feel like a lot of teens could relate to it and use it and find it helpful. Yeah, I do not agree with this being a banned book. It's just too beautiful. And I mean, throughout everything that happens in this book, it ends in such a beautiful, hopeful way. And honestly, like, I mean, props to this character, because I mean, even where I'm at now with, like, my trauma, he's a better person than I am. Like, yeah. And I mean, I get it's a fictional character, although some part of me thinks that maybe it's not completely fictional. Maybe some of it's based on some reality, but still, yeah. I feel like all of us could use a little more Charlie in our lives and take notes from Charlie. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved it. I loved the book. I liked rewatching the movie. I loved putting together my 90s look. Like, I loved everything. The hair, I found this dress at Target, and I was like, this is so 90s. It's It's ridiculous. I mean, I found this dress before I was doing this, and this is just an excuse to wear it. So, alright, let me know what you guys think. If you have read this book, seen the movie, what you guys thought in the comments down below. And I will see you tomorrow for day 5, final day of Banned Book Week. See you then. It's gonna get spooky.